3, 2.
One. Morris, you look awesome tonight. Peter, you look equally as awesome. And welcome everyone to yet another awesome episode of Three Guys Get Real. Not four guys, but three guys get real. And I'm Robert Mandelson, the creator and facilitator of Powerful Play Experiences, Positive Workplace, Mental Health for Teams. And joining me tonight is my awesome friend, another one of the three guys who get real. A big hand for Morris. Big hand for Morris Chirka.
Thank you.
What's the story, Morris?
What's the story? As of time of the filming of this, it is beautiful outside. I'm able to get some other color than white on me now, so that's good. I'm happy. I bought myself a timer. Ding, flip over. Good. All right. So it's definitely making me feel warm inside and out.
Way to go, Morris. Way to go, Morris. We're actually into our fourth episode now.
No, I think it's 5, buddy. I was wrong.
You know, we've hit the magic number. We've hit the magic. We're into our 5th episode, and none of these episodes would be complete if it were not for Dieter Wenzel. Dieter Wenzel. That
would be you. I'll take a little bit of credit, but it's three guys propping this up. So, hey, no, it's a good time. Like Morris said, the time to get outside and enjoy the sunshine's here. And my kids are running around in the backyard, sometimes clothed, sometimes not. And it's a beautiful time of the year. And, you know, I think some people still have a cloud of negativity over them, but it's a lot easier to get outside and deal with that when the sun is shining than when you're minus 40 in the basement or whatever.
You bet. And thank you for that. Thank you for that, because that is an excellent segue to tonight's episode. And before we get to that, grab a pen. All of us grab a pen and a piece of paper. And here's a question. And write down whatever comes to mind, and keep it private. Don't share. And the question is, define mental. Did that say pizza? That's good. Define mental health optimism. What is mental health optimism? 30 seconds. Write down your definition of mental health optimism. Here we go. 20 seconds. What is mental health optimism? What is mental health optimism? Excellent. Got your definition there, Morris?
Oh, I'm on ham and pineapple right now.
So that's a yes. That's a yes.
We might be interrupted by skip the dishes in 15 minutes.
Oh, sorry, I answered the door.
Hey, yo, the pizza here.
Okay, as Dieter and Morris are wrapping up the writing of their definition of mental health optimism, if you're watching tonight's episode, our 5th episode of Three Guys Get Real, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us today or this evening. If you've had the opportunity to capture any one of our previous episodes, you know that what's Three Guys Get Real? What's it all about, Dieter?
It's do we have time to start rehashing stuff?
No. Three Guys Get Real.
Sorry. Here comes an edit for Morris.
No way. We're going raw, baby. All raw.
Well, for me, this is a journey of trying to put puzzle pieces together to help others. You know, we're helping ourselves by talking about this, but I have heard comments and seen comments. What we're doing is helping others. And if we can somehow connect a few pieces for some other people, be it having a guest speaker or, you know, tonight's, you know, working on definitions. I'm a big fan of that. I do that in my work every day. Make sure everybody's using the same words in the same way. If we can give somebody a tool or a tip or a trick, then this is all worth it.
Awesome. It's awesome. Three guys get real.
Unedited.
About mental health and everything else related to three guys getting real about mental health. Morris, anything to add to that?
Yes. Three Guys Get Real is basically about three guys getting around a coffee table, right? And just sharing, you know, what's on our heart there, right? We're not trying to be polished. Well, maybe up here, but Dieter's extra polished there. But no, just, you know, we don't need to have any fluff. We don't need to use any proper grammar and technical terms. We're just saying, hey, this is who I am. This is what I see the world out there. And this is what piece of the pie I can offer that's been helping me. And hopefully it can help you too.
And what another wonderful segue for what we're going to do tonight. And we promise our audience that whatever we do tonight, we are here for the next 15 minutes to 20 minutes, no more, max. And tonight we have a little surprise for everyone. We're going introspective tonight. We're going deep and introspective tonight. Over the past number of episodes, we've covered the subject matter of men and mental health. We even invited a guest, one of Edmonton's leading social workers and psychologists here in the city, to also cover off the subject of men and mental health. But today we're going introspective, and we're going to go introspective with our own personal journeys around mental health optimism. Mental health optimism. So, Dieter, here's the question, and I'll get the clock running as soon as you begin. So a little bit of introspection, a little bit of sort of deep thinking about where Dieter is at on the subject of mental health optimism. So on the scale of 1 to 10, Dieter, how would you rate your mental health optimism? How would you rate it over the past 7 to 10 days? 1 being not too happy with it, 10 being very happy. How would you rate your overall mental health optimism, your mood around mental health optimism?
I'll go back 14 days. I've been in a good place, Robert. And Morris, I've been in a really good place. My consulting practice is starting to move, and we've got some clients that we're lining up, and it's really exciting. The temperature was really hot, so we're getting air conditioning, and for me, that's kind of a big adult thing to do. That's exciting for me. Don't get me wrong, there's sad things too. Visited my 94-year-old grandmother, and she's very sad and very confined because of everything going on. So there's different pieces to it, but no, I would say overall, Robert, to answer your question, it's been a good couple of weeks. I've worked really hard to take care of myself, and now it's starting to pay off. Some meditation has been really helpful. I talked to an executive coach on last week, Friday or Thursday, and the executive coach helped me with some really good pieces. And it's good, Robert. It's good.
So on a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah, I'd put 11 on it if I could, but yeah,
Awesome.
a
Awesome.
10. But don't get me wrong, it's been a lot of hard work.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like my kids were playing back and forth tidal wave, and I dropped the F bomb because that's not a thing to do in the bathtub. But that being said, um, that's you got to work on pieces. But no, it's good, Robert. It's good.
So on that note, and we're at you have another 3 minutes here. On that note, and I'm going to ask Morris to think of a question to ask you. How would you describe or what score or grading would you give yourself in terms of managing your mental health optimism? One, I could, there's room for improvement. 10, I think I'm doing a fantastic job and where I'm at. So managing your mental health optimism.
I would give myself a pat on the back and give myself a high rating. Do you want my definition right now as well?
No, I want to hear more about managing your mental health optimism.
Yeah. I'm a little bit confused with the word optimism because I'm kind of defining my own mental health management or energy around maintaining it. But no, I got 9.5 hours of sleep on Friday because I needed it. So, and walked 2 kilometers with my kids on Saturday because they needed it. I needed it. It was good. It was nice. Went saw some ducks, like some positives there. And, there's like a menu or a checklist of items to do. And I've made that a focus. And one of the things that I've lost to do that is I'm not watching the hockey. So I'm not watching any TV, but on the upside, I felt really good walking with my kids around the lake.
Right on.
Thank you. Morris, do you want to chime in? We have about another minute and a half. Morris, anything you'd like to chime in and a question for Dieter?
Well, I got a question for Dieter here. What do you do to start your day on the right path mentally?
And be specific.
So the alarm to my phone, everybody's using the phone alarm now. It's a song that you cannot drive to. It's a song, and I'll have to sing it. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's this electronic cafe music. And when I was reading about it, they said it's one of the most mood altering music on the market. And they said that your heart rate will slow down listening to this electronic music, and you shouldn't drive. And it's a very relaxing way to open the day. It's not
Cool.
It's not heavy metal or music or classical or anything like that. Like it's a very easing into the day.
Share with us your definition of mental health optimism that you wrote down before we get started. Dieter Wenzel, mental health optimism is
a lack of noise on personal health. There's no barriers and there's no obstacles.
Wow.
So I went a little bit of what it isn't instead of what it is.
Can I borrow that?
Yeah, a lack of noise. And really for me, that's what a lot of these lists are. It's just trying to clear away the clutter, get an empty mind for a moment and embrace it.
Right on.
So Morris, tell us a little bit about mental health optimism. How would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your mental health optimism, your mood over the past, say 5 to 10 days, 7 to 10 days? How would you rate your mental health optimism?
I would say I'm at about between a 7-9, right? It bounces between there. And because there'll be some days I'm like, yeah, right on, I'm on top of the world. Woo, I can do it. And then there's some days, especially when you're not like Dieter and get 9.5 hours sleep. Instead, you're kind of more of, wait a minute, I get 4 hours of sleep? Right? So you're pushing yourself the next day. And it's so easy to slide.
No, I want to hear about you. I want to hear about you.
It's easy to slide. But what I do is I choose to be positive, to be optimistic, to go, okay, I recognize what's happening here. I got two choices. I can be grumpy, go on the couch, binge watch, all right, whatever. Good. See, I got to 4.5 hours sleep last night. But anyhow, no.
So what are you doing to fix your sleep then, Morris? Tell us what you're doing to fix your sleep.
Actually, no, honestly, I get about 6 hours plus, right? So 4 hours, there's a little exaggeration there. So, but 6 hours. But what I do is really just finish the day off, right? Go to bed early, prepare that time to kind of do a little bit of wind down and go, thank you. I thank you. I met new friends. I thank you. Like yesterday, I played pickleball for the first time and realized how terrible I am at it, right? It was fun. It was great. Met some good people, ate some good cake. That's what made me. There's so many good things to be thankful for. And when you keep
No, when I want to hear I, not when you say I.
Hey, I stack things. See, I'm a team player. There's no I in team. All right. Gee, you're making me become selfish.
Where would you position yourself in terms of managing your mental health optimism, managing your mental health optimism on a scale of 1 to 10? How you doing?
You know what? I'm doing great. I've been talking to great people like both of you. I have some new friends I met, one from Vancouver, another one from New Zealand. And one from New Zealand, we talk on a weekly basis about, again, mental positiveness. How do we, it's like you go to a gym to work out. Well, why don't we work out this muscle up here? Right? See the joy. So, like, one thing I look at is seeing what's the beauty in the world. Right? So when I see what's the beauty in the world, it helps me going, how lucky and blessed am. And the more I feel blessed, the more better I do, the more peace I'm with myself. And the more peace I'm with myself, the more I can tackle and do things when I have good rest and sleep.
Dieter, make him work for a tough question. Offer up a tough question and make him work for it. He has just over a minute.
Okay, so Morris, you said some days are a 7 and some days are a 10. And you said that you're putting focus on your time and, to make sure that you're sleeping and getting the rest that you need. And as you're looking over the last 10 days, was there one habit or one ritual or one step that you can say, this is working really well for me? I just mentioned that ambient noise that I start my day with. Do you have something like that?
Gratitude.
It's like a gratitude journal?
Sorry?
A gratitude journal then?
I don't write fast enough for my head to comprehend because I have to speak 100 miles an hour, right? So I get on this, like, if people do a rant, well, this is like kind of like a gratitude rant, right? Like, thank you so much for this. Thank you for that. Thank you for this, right? And at first it felt so weird, like going on my bed or in the morning going, thank you, I got out of bed, right? Thank you for today. Thank you. Like tonight, I'm going to say thank you. I had such a great time with two amazing men that keep me in line. And no, I don't keep a journal, but just knowing that I say it, the more I say it, the better I feel. And when I go to bed, what is the last thing I remember and feel?
Time. Share with us. share with us your definition of mental health optimism. And Dieter, listen closely because you'll have a question for him. What's your definition of mental health optimism? Morris Churka.
Mental health optimism is taking the moments when you feel down and looking at the greatness and remembering how amazing you are and remembering on the joys, the beauty. And by focusing on that, you can't help but to feel amazing. Wow.
Okay.
I wouldn't believe I said
Where did that come from?
I know.
Put that on a business card.
There's a hand there saying, making me speak here.
So how do you prime the pump then, Morris? Robert wants me to challenge you on it. How do you prime that pump? How do you start? How do you get that going? Because some days people that I know and people that I talk to, like, they're still in bed, halfway through the day.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to start that journey of gratitude and remembering your greatness, remembering your joys, remembering your inner divinity and beauty and all of that.
So 2 things here. So one is, how when you go to bed and some people wake up before their alarm clock because their body and their mind is so programmed at 6:49.2, bing, I'm up, right? I can't go back to bed. Okay, so that's one half of the step. The other half of the step is, for the first bit, get out of bed. Right? At first might be tough, but once you start going, bing, all right, good morning, sports fans, let's go, right? And before you know, you're mentally, your body is in that routine now. Let's go, let's do it. And if you ever find yourself down, and again, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. There's so many things to be thankful for. Just a quick little story here. I was a wedding photographer in the Dominican, and there's this one area, bunch of ruins, chickens running around, chicken eggs in the toilet. It was awful. But the bride and groom says, Morris, we got to take pictures. This place is so amazing. I thought, did they bang their head? After I took pictures there, to this day has been the best pictures ever, because no matter where you go, you can find beauty in anything. You just have to look for it.
So you took pictures of eggs in a toilet?
I didn't take pictures of the eggs in the toilet, but I did take pictures of them next to the roof all caved in the ground. There was no door, but wow, amazing pictures. You would never believe me if you saw it.
Somebody asked me the questions. I promised our audience they'd be out of here in 15 minutes.
Okay,
Thank
Dieter.
you, Morris. Thank you, Dieter. Somebody asked me the questions.
Dieter, drill him.
I'll start the timer.
Okay, Robert, how was your last 7 to 10 days?
How was my last 7 to 10 days? In terms of my mental health optimism, it was definitely at a 6. It was definitely at a 6. Yeah, it's I've taken a few steps emotionally, and haven't felt as energized or happy, positive over the past 7 to 10 days, or maybe over the past 2 weeks. And so, yeah, I'm feeling kind of a 6. I was stuck at a 6 for the longest time, but in about 3 weeks ago, I moved to a 7, but I bumped back to a 6. So not as optimistic in regards to my own mental health as I needed to be. And such is life.
The interesting thing for me, Robert, over the last few years, getting to know you more and more, you sort of have the almost expectation from others that you're going to be the happy guy and the guy ready to go. And sometimes that's really hard, isn't it?
Somebody recently said to me, I love the energy, but I really love when you're humble and quiet around me. And because I see, it's not that I don't appreciate the energy and the happy, but you seem to be much more wired in to yourself when you're in a place of humbleness and calm. And you articulate yourself quite differently when you're in that place versus when you're all about the energy. So he said, I hear different Robs, one who's when he's in his energy place, and one when he's in his
Chillaxing.
Yeah, pardon me?
Chillaxing?
Yeah, chillaxing place. Very well said. Yeah. So you know what? Well said, Dieter. I'm definitely COVID has helped me become comfortable with that calm place. The COVID experience has given me permission to be calm, and that's okay.
There's a rock band, heavy metal band called Iron Maiden. I don't know if you guys heard of them. And on their last album, they had a song called Tears of the Clown. And it was about Robin Williams. And there's been a few times I've heard that song and listened to it and thought of you indirectly or directly, because even though Robin Williams had this outside that was just so amazing, and I see that outside frequently from you, Robert. Sometimes on the Friday lunch meetings, you're just fireworks on that meeting and everybody's really rah excited. And then for me, it's like, okay, but let's get into that real Robert, the quiet Robert that you know that I'm seeing now, right? The introspective and for me, I would agree there are multiple Roberts, depending on the environment or depending on the objective.
Thank you.
Wow.
And they're amazing.
Ask me how I've been managing my mental health optimism on a scale of 1 to 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Robert, please help us understand what your health optimism has been.
Well, in terms of managing my mental health optimism, I would probably give myself a 5. I would give myself a 5 over the past 7 to 10 days or 2 weeks. And it's interesting how both you and Morris have talked about the value and the importance of good sleep hygiene. Good sleep hygiene. There's a term I learned from my doctor, sleep hygiene. And no different than maybe the two of you when the Oilers were in the playoffs. I was up very late watching the hockey games, and that started a pattern of staying up late. And late for me is anything beyond 10 o'clock. But it was getting excessive in the sense that following the playoffs, I was crashing anywhere between 1 and 2 a.m. And not good for a guy who needs sleep to maintain to maintain mental health optimism. So what has happened is poor sleep hygiene is now spilled over into not eating breakfast and lunch at the right time, more sleeps or naps during the day, missing out on my daily walks with Sharon, and being much more irritable with myself and others. So my goal, my intention for a week now has been to get my sleep hygiene back on schedule. And I've been doing it in about a half-hour increments. So moving from crashing out at 1, now I'm crashing out at 12:30. Now I'm crashing out at midnight, 11:30, 11. So I'm down to about 11:30 now, which is a pretty good start for me. And my psychologist has asked me to make in a journal, just describe how I feel when I'm getting the sleep that I want and that I need. And there's no fog. There's no more fog in my brain, because I was going through a 2-week fog and with way too much in my head trying to clear it. But the fog is beginning to lift and the sunshine is coming in. So still a little bit of work to do, but I'll get there. There you go.
Beautiful.
Okay, now give us your definition of health optimism.
Right, mental health optimism. It's all about hope. It's all about hope. And it's all about moving myself to my preferred now, and to my preferred future. So I have a preference to be somewhere now, and I have a preference to be somewhere tomorrow. And that's optimistic. Mental health optimism is where I would prefer to be now and the day after. So mental health optimism is hope that I have, hope and the capacity and the strength to move to my preferred now and to my preferred tomorrow. That's mental health optimism.
Well done. Well done.
You've been watching yet another episode, the 5th episode of 3 Men Get Real. Now, you may have noticed in other episodes, I often begin by saying, welcome to 3 Guys Get Real, but I'll always end off by saying 3 Men Get Real, simply because the 3 of us have grown exponentially during the experience from 3 guys to 3 men. And I hope you've enjoyed an introspective look at myself, Dieter, and Morris, and we'll see you soon. Have a great evening, everyone, and happy mental health optimism to all of you. You bet. Yay. Yay.